a soldier looks like. So you want to throw in a bit of fantasy and also throw in a bit of that modern, that old style that everybody's going to remember and everybody's going to like. You don't want to stay, you want to mix like modern illustration, old illustration with the old designs of the G.I. Joe that everybody's going to love and recognize without really sticking to exactly what those old designs were. Pretty much everybody's going to be able to recognize their favorite characters, and that's basically it.
So why don't we switch over to the DVD and give you guys a look at what the new G.I. Joe actually looks like. Lights down. This is actually a DVD screen. This is the same thing.
So we should talk about a couple of things just based off of this. Obviously, we're set present day, but we're dealing with a corporation in Cobra that has access to technology that is 10, 15, 20 years ahead of what we think exists now. It's probably actually stuff that DARPA is in reality working on right now. But so we get into a world of slightly futuristic weaponry, slightly futuristic vehicles, bio villains in a way, bio-human villains. So that's, and the other side of it is, you know, this is all preliminary stuff. We're obviously showing you flat art, the character design stuff, and that's because, quite honestly, we are rushing so hard to try to get to the finish line to premiere with the 10-10-10 that we actually don't have much more to show you right now.
And one of the things, I mean, just obviously there was some, you know, spoilers in there as far as who is actually in the show and what's going on. You know, there's some big differences compared to Classic Joe with our show. I don't know if you guys, and Marty, if you guys want to talk a little bit about some of the choices that were made. I mean, some of the characters that are closer to their classic look, some of them that are a bit different, a slightly new take on them, or looking at them at a little bit of an earlier stage in their life before they got to where we recognize them more, like that kind of stuff.
I think we wanted to leave open for growth and development. So the idea is just like the Joes are going to be learning and growing and kind of getting skills, Cobra is still kind of developing who they are too. So we're going to see those relationships between those characters evolve and develop. The full pantheon. As a kid, I always wondered, how in the heck did this biker group, the Dreadnoughts, get associated with Cobra? And you know, you might get to see that in this episode.
You will get to see it.
I'm not sure. I might get shot at any second. I
think we got all of Hasbro on the hub over here. They're like, don't say that.
Is it okay to say? The red dot means you're...
That's right. Let me know if that's something for you. I think also the challenge was to really start it from a more realistic place and then, as Henry said, let it evolve to the more
futuristic, fantastical. So what you're seeing here is, it really is where the characters start. Probably the most significant change visually is Mindbender. It doesn't look anything like his G.I. Joe 80s counterpart. And that was really just a decision to make him younger. We just thought it would make him a more interesting character. And
More a foil for Cobra Commander.
yeah, absolutely. And I think he's still the network's favorite character.
Hands down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I miss the purple codpiece monocle bald hair and hair chest.
That's just me. That's a whole other panel.
The other thing is, again, doing the series the way we kind of chose to do it allows us to do is, these guys don't all get along at the beginning. Again, they've just met, they're put in a pretty horrible situation initially. There's going to be a lot of distrust and sparks flying between them. And the same for us is true of the Cobra personnel as well. Just because Baroness and Cobra Commander and Mindbender work together doesn't mean they've actually found a way to get along. So it just lets us get into a lot more fun stuff over the course of the series.
And I think we have some of the backgrounds up here, and I think, one of the things that's cool for Ted and I being total animation geeks, and I'm sure there's a couple more out there, is Beautiful's not usually a word you would associate with like a boys action show on a new network, but yeah, bring lights down just a little bit. Everything that Jeff was saying about like the backgrounds being really painterly, I mean, this looks a lot more like a feature animated thing. I mean, we're really trying, and I mean, Ted, we've talked about this, but I mean, across the board at the Hub, we're really trying to like step up what you see on TV for animation, and really try and like, set the bar higher. So, if we can just scroll through some of these. Oh, can you get the lights down a little bit further?
There you go. So again, that's so easy to see on the screen, but really painterly, very much illustration art as opposed to, again, a look at a lot of other elements. And you don't necessarily have to see all the detail around the edges. The idea is that there are things hidden, there's hidden meanings, everything isn't as it seems, etc. Every part of it.
There's also going to be awesome action happening on top of the beautiful paintings, but that's kind of key.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like it should be a clapper. That's because I'm old and
Nice. Do we want to talk about some broad strokes, or do we want to, I'm kind of open. Let's just get loosey-goosey up here.
well, I think, again, one of the things, if you are a fan of G.I. Joe anywhere in its history, the idea is we are too, and so we want to try to, anything that we think of that seems cool, like, for example, bringing back Michael Bell and
BJ Ward will be.
They were the original Duke and Scarlet. For us, actually, they play different characters, but they are together again. But it literally is that we literally would sit around as we're breaking story or we're coming up with concepts for mini arcs to talk about which character would you like to see. Who would be fun to dig into? Again, maybe we meet them at a point in their lives where they're not even yet a part of the Joe world. They are completely separate from the Joe world, and we'll bring them into the Joe world in our episode. But we really did kind of throw the doors wide open, sit around as fans and say what would be the most fun, what would be the coolest stuff we could think of, who would we want to see, what we want to have them do, and how we want to change them.
That was actually part of the fun. Going both ways is starting with your favorite Joe character and saying, oh, can we build a story around the introduction of that character? Or what was really fun was discovering that, well, we need a character for this story, and then going through the guidebook and saying, oh, perfect character. We'll fit them right in.
We'd get to a place in the story, and they're like, okay, so they're here in this part, and I'm like, well, what about Carl Greer? Would that be a character that could be in that? They're like, hey, yeah! And it's like, we all get excited. Because I know their real names.
but Ted gets the most excited.
Yeah, Ted gets really excited. So I think, I think there's a lot of things that you guys probably want to know, and we do want to open it up to question and answers. But first, we really are rushing, so we don't have a whole lot. But if we had a few seconds of animation, is that something you guys would want to see?
Yeah!
That didn't sound very. That didn't sound really excited. I was like, before we show the footage, I was going to say, so this is literally a snippet. It's a few shots. It's not a story. It really is showing like the fact that we wanted this Joe to be a show that the entire family could enjoy, but we wanted to have it as action-packed, as intense as anything you've seen. So I think that this sort of shows that
we're here to get some